Congratulations. Normalcy has been restored. Cricbuzz Live is back, and so are the two founding members. The third one is holidaying somewhere. Kapoor Saab, we miss you. But Mr. Bhogle, Mr. Bhattachariya, good to see you.
Hello.
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 No, I was just trying to put on my deepest voice because you're now used to hearing deep voices, right? I heard Manish Batavia saying, I went to watch Mr. Bachchan at Cricbuzz.
Sir, he is celluloid Super B. You are cricket television Super B, sir. मतलब बैरिटोन तो दोनों का अच्छा है.
ठीक है.
एक बार कह के देखिए. देवी और सज्जनों.
Thank you, Manish.
But the Asia Cup is here.
Asia Cup is here.
It's a big tournament.
I just want to tell you one thing though. When he was in IIM Ahmedabad, you remember that famous song, Ye Kahan Aa Gaye Hum? And the baritone in the middle. He used to do that.
Really?
Regularly.
Main aur meri tanhai. But it's good. The Asia Cup is it's in a way symbolic of the start of a huge cricket season, a season full of aspirations. And the Asia Cup, true to its nature, has started in controversy, but the Asia Cup was born in controversy, has always been in the throes of regional disputes that have affected its running, but it runs. And the Asia Cup, for all the troubles, the Asia Cup is on. It might be in Multan, in Lahore, in Pallekele, in Colombo, but it's on. And it's on, and it's a very valuable trailer before the main show, which is the World Cup.
Is it relevant now more so because it's a precursor to a big world event like it was last year? Would it be less relevant if there was no World Cup coming up?
Definitely it's more relevant because there's a World Cup coming up. But let's go back and say, do you know why we have a World Cup in the subcontinent? How we got a World Cup in the subcontinent? And it comes really in some way from the Asia Cup is associated with the history. Because when NKP Salve was refused tickets, he spoke to his Pakistan counterparts, Arif Abbasi and Shahid Rafi. And they said, look, we cannot allow ICC London to control ICC cricket. And that's where the Asian Cricket Council started. The first one in '84 was Rotman's Asia Cup. But that's when they said that as a region, Asia will vote together. That's why you got a World Cup in '87, World Cup in '96. So today, India, Pakistan being the powers they are, India being the commercial head of world cricket in that sense, starts from that Asia Cup.
It's a very interesting phenomenon in that relations were strained between the countries politically at various times through the 80s and 90s, but they voted together as a bloc to ensure that the power shifted from the old colonial powers, the old feudal powers, to the emerging nations. And Joy is right, that is how 87 happened, 96 happened, India opened up, and now you talked about whether it is seen as a build-up to a World Cup, but that is how it is now conceived. So we've had T20 Asia Cups, we had 50 over Asia Cups. It is seen as a means of giving the Asian teams preparation before a World Cup.
Pakistan is going to bat first. We're going to have a longer day. With due respect to Nepal, they won the toss and they've chosen to bat first. But the Asia Cup, 6 teams, 13 matches, 5 full members and a newbie in Nepal. Is this tournament bigger for Nepal than it is for any other team in this competition? It's just a big emotional moment, isn't it?
It is a big emotional moment. And remember, all the teams that Nepal has played about 50 odd one-day international matches, they have never played India, Pakistan, Bangladesh or the likes. They haven't played these nations. So yes, it is a big one. But remember, it's equally important for India, for Pakistan, for just exactly 1 month before the World Cup. This is it. And the big question in everyone's mind is, how do you treat it? Do you treat it as, am I still doing last minute preparations like I used to do for an exam? Or like Harsha, have I finished my studies 3 days before and I'm watching a movie that day and saying, okay, my team is set. That's the one that you have to decide.
My friends will die laughing hearing this. They'll say, क्या image बनाया सच्ची कैसा था कैसा image बना लिया आपने?
चश्मे पहनने से होता है, लगता है स्टूडियोज है.
मैं तो चश्मा 6 स्टैंडर्ड से पहन रहा हूँ. तो फिर कुछ ना फर्क नहीं पड़ा. But I think teams are taking it seriously because the team that Pakistan announced, and they announced it well in advance of this game, they're playing 11.
This can't be Pakistan. No controversy, no chaos.
Yeah, and that is their first 11. That if this was a World Cup final, that would be the team Pakistan would take into that game. So they're going in with their first 11. They only had a little uncertainty about who's going to bat at 5, 6. I mean, they had options like we have in India at 4 and 5. But I think that's pretty well settled. In all fairness, I think Rahul Dravid got it absolutely right when he said we knew who our 4 or 5 were going to be. All 3 got injured at the same time. But this is an indicator that Pakistan want to play that same combination all the time so that they're ready. And this is a very, very good Pakistan team. There can be any amount of turmoil in the PCB, because there was a time when the chairman used to change every Wednesday and Monday. That might happen again with the elections. Again, Zaka Ashraf might go. Again, Najam Sethi might come in. You don't know. But the way this team is playing, it seems independent of everything else. This is one of the best white ball teams that Pakistan have put together.
Let's take a look at the group fixtures. 6 matches, 2 groups, India, Pakistan, Nepal on one side, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka on the other. Then we go into the Super Fours, followed by the finals on the 17th of September, which will be played in Colombo. Straight away, do Pakistan start as hot favourites for the Asia Cup?
They're the number one ranked team in the world. If you look at it, and we've talked about India being this tremendous power, when we were great in ODI cricket, and we have been for a very long time. We may not have been being in finals, but we've been a great one-day international team for a while. We had that top 3, Shikhar, Rohit and Virat. And statistically, okay, this current Pakistan, Babar, Fakhar, Inam, these guys are right there with them. Babar Azam is averaging 58 in this version of the game. He's basically the 4th highest average ever in international cricket, ODI cricket. I think Fakhar comes in at about 10 or 11, and all 3 of them are within the top 20 or 25 cricketers of all time ever. So sometimes, when you're sitting out here and you're watching them and you're saying, okay, and the format is perhaps not as popular as T20, we tend to forget that this is an all-time great side in terms of what they've achieved and the kind of stats they're putting on.
There are cliches about Pakistan cricket. Very often commentators say we don't know which Pakistan will turn up. Is it time to retire that belief? Because is this
For the moment, they're fairly consistent. They're fairly consistent because they're not chopping and changing. You see a lot of newcomers coming into their test side. But I think they've achieved relative stability with this side for a while. The 3 fast bowlers are not going anywhere. They're at the top of their profession. Shadab is one of the best all-rounders in white ball cricket going. Maybe they might move Mohammad Nawaz occasionally, Usama Mir, the leggy is a good player. But in white ball cricket, suddenly Rizwan establishes himself, Babar becomes a king. And 5 and 6 are actually pretty good players. With
Salman Agha.
With Salman Agha, they can get Iftikhar Ahmed playing. They have the option of playing Saad Shakil, who's been rated very, very high by most people who have seen him. So, they're going with Iftikhar. Now look down this side. They've got 5 bowling options. 3 quicks, fantastic. The leggy and a left armour. And 2 off-spinners batting at 5 and 6. 2 off-spin bowling options batting at 5 and 6. This is a very good side. As Joy said, reminds him of the time when India's power was the top 3. The numbers are saying if the top 3 are not winning, Pakistan are not that good a side, which is also a problem that had beset India. But in recent times, with the arrival of Agha, with Iftikhar doing well, with Shadab doing so well down at 7, they won that great game against Afghanistan recently, which for once put paid to all the theories that if 7 batsmen can't do it, 8 can't, which disproven every single day. So Shadab is batting there. Nawaz, if you remember the last Asia Cup, Nawaz batted well. So, he bowled a white ball with the scores level, but with the scores almost level, but that's long back.
Oh, Nawaz, what have you done, Nawaz? It was that kind of ball. All bases covered, right? Pakistan, this 11?
Looks like.
All bases covered. I think this is a very set side. And if you look purely, even if you're looking slightly forward to the World Cup, this is one of the most settled units to go into the tournament. The fact that they've announced it before, the fact that they're saying that there is not too much experimentation out here, they have done their homework, this is what they want to do. And they have, 3 fast bowlers, the quality that they have again is something that it's absolutely fantastic. All of them are very different bowlers, but they're brilliant together, absolutely brilliant.
Right. My name is not Karan Johar. There's no coffee, there's hot water, and there's Nimbu Pani as well. There are no hampers here, but we can always play rapid fire. I know Mr. Bhogle loves rapid fires. Or do you want to do multiple choice since I've just come back from a Mr. Bachchan shoot? Top run scorer at the Asia Cup, sir.
It's very difficult to assign form because a lot of the Indian batters haven't been playing a lot of this format in recent times. So if you go on current form, you might have to go Babar Azam. But I'd like to see Virat Kohli look me in the eye and say, just repeat that. I want to hear it again.
Okay, for you?
I'm going to go with Babar Azam as well. I'm going to be boring on this one, but yeah, Babar Azam.
Top wicket taker?
Jasprit Bumrah.
because of the conditions and where most of the matches are being played, I'm going to go with Hasaranga.
Now the third and
He
the
may
final.
not play he may not play all the games.
Not there, sir.
Hasaranga is
Not
injured.
there.
Oh yes, that's right. Because he's been leading this year. Otherwise,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of wickets.
In fact, Sri Lanka made a list of their bowlers and said, okay, not this, not this, not this, not this. 4 more come in.
But they keep doing well after that. The more they move around, they suddenly do well.
Yeah, but Chamira, Madhushanka, Lahiru Kumara, Hasaranga, everybody is
Okay, then I'll have to change my this. Then I'm thinking
Afridi.
I'll go Shaheen Shah Afridi. Since I've got to stay apart from Harsha, I'll go with Shaheen Shah Afridi.
Finalists.
It's the box office answer. If you're looking for the box office answer, you will say India-Pakistan. But if you look at the fact that Sri Lanka are a little underdone, they're a little short of players, bowlers maybe. Bangladesh have gotten a lot of youngsters. A lot of that whole under-19 team is coming in. I don't know how good they'll be on the big stage. So I'm going back to where I started. I think I'll be surprised if it's not in India-Pakistan.
Right, we've got to talk about Nepal.
But you didn't ask him.
India-Pakistan, you go.
Look, don't take me
No,
for
no, I
granted.
was very keen to hear you say India versus Bangladesh. Having
don't-
said top will be Babar and top will be Shaheen Afridi. So I was waiting
Joy,
for that.
careful, all your fans from Guwahati are watching.
I just want you to know. But it's for Bangladesh fans. I just want to say that don't take me for granted. I have very different views. India-Pakistan.
How very different.
But that's what the
Refreshingly
Asia Cup is about, isn't it? The Asia Cup is a means of getting India and Pakistan to play each other thrice. And the funny thing is, we've never had them play have you had a lot of India-Pakistan?
Finals.
No,
not in the
you haven't had an
finals.
India-Pakistan
Not in the
final.
It
Best
used to
laid
be when
plans
there
of
were
men
three
and mice.
countries. When there were 3 countries, but that too, it was not it was a best of.
Yeah.
I mean, there were no finals.
Tri-series.
Yeah, they used to be, and there were no finals in those days. 84 and all. When Surinder Khanna used to win matches for India, there were no tri-series. I mean, there were no.
George
finals.
just trying to say he was around in 84.
I was 2 years old. Just born. Nepal, let's take a look at their 11. We've spent about 2 weeks to study their team. We've tried very hard to remember these names. I'm sure a lot of these names will be heard of a lot more in the months and years to come. Rohit Paudel, their 20-year-old captain, will turn 21 on Saturday. There is Asif Sheikh, their wicket keeper. Karan Casey and Sompal Kami, their right-arm pace bowlers. There's Lami Chane, who's they call him their global superstar. Joy, what do you make of this lineup, and who are the players that excite you most about this lineup?
Again, I mean, for whatever you say, Kushal Bhuttel is the one who scored a lot of runs for them. He got a 71 in their last match. And the other one is Gulshan Jha, because again, like his captain Rohit Paudel, you look at Rohit Paudel and you say that, he's a captain. How old is he? He's 20 years old. He's after Rashid Khan, the youngest ODI captain that you have around. He has been playing since he's 15. Gulshan has been playing since he's 15. One of the things that these smaller sides have, one of the advantages that they have is, because there's not too much talent around, you can be picked up very early, and therefore you get a long run at it. And the same thing happened to Rashid Khan. They'll be hoping, of course, again, Lami Chane, look at it, he goes, plays a match, somebody's going to a wedding, spots him, picks him up, takes him there, he goes, plays a match, somebody sees him from the MCC, next thing he's playing club cricket, he goes to Hong Kong, from there he goes to Australia to play club cricket under Michael Clarke, and suddenly he's, playing for the IPL. So that's the one opportunity that all of them will have. So there is a team opportunity for, Nepal playing against these big countries, but there's an individual opportunity saying, so many teams in India, so many people are watching. This is a chance to put my name up and say, I belong in the biggest cricket leagues in the world.
Indians leading a lot of global tech companies and Indians going and helping other cricketing nations as well. Monty Desai was brought in, replaced Manoj Prabhakar, I think, and he seems to believe that the mood and the mahal is very happy, friendly. Everyone's in a happy zone. Just augurs really well.
Very different kind of people for a start as coaches. Very different temperamentally, the two as coaches. I think Monty is a very studious kind of person. You need that kind of personality when a team is on its way up. I remember in the early days of Bangladesh cricket, for example, there are a lot of these superstar coaches. That Gordon Greenidge, that Jimmy Amana, they got all the stars in. At this level, you need someone who will just work with them, grow with their skills, give them experience, take them around the world. So he might be a good coach. All I would like to see from Nepal is they shouldn't feel overawed being here. They shouldn't have this imposter syndrome saying, do we belong here? They've earned the right to be here. They must look Pakistan in the eye and say, yeah, you're a great side, But you know what? We earn the right to be here. Who are our siblings in a sense? Are UAE, Hong Kong, Oman, and they're all sides that used to be better ranked than us, and we've gone past them to come here. So we've earned the right to be here. Walk out and play your best cricket. As you go ahead, try and go to as many leagues as possible. As many, even the little leagues. One of their players played in the Global T20 League in Canada.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter, Dipinder Singh, right?
Dipinder Singh, Airi, yeah.
Airi. And you watch how the other players are playing, you come back with those stories, you become a better player. So I'd like to see Nepal just stand up there and play like they belong, not be overawed, look them in the eye and say, right, come get us.
They won the ACC Premier Cup to qualify for the Asia Cup. Won 11 out of their last 12 games at the WCL League 2 to retain ODI status for 4 years. Now, Harsha, you're an IIM product. If someone...
How many 100 years ago?
30 years ago?
Whatever.
If someone said, all right, Mr. Bhogle, you are the new CEO or CEO of Nepal Cricket. Give us a 4-year plan. What are the top priority big ticket items on that presentation?
I would want to play as much cricket with the friends I would want to make the most, which is India. And I would say to India, give me as much cricket as you can. You're our neighbors. And keep sending us India A teams, keep sending us an IPL collection teams, keep sending us teams. You know, we've got some of the most scenic stadiums in the world. Let us come and play. You gave Afghanistan a base in Dehradun. You gave them a base in Noida. Give us a base. We'll come and play there more often and give us more matches. I would say play every single ODI or every single one-day game that you have access to. Don't change your players. Try and create a core of 15, 16 players who understand each other very well and take pride in what you're doing. And send your players out to play in leagues. Just let them come back. Let's let them come back better players. Afghanistan grew with Mujib and the others playing in Australia, Rashid playing all over the world. In their slipstream, you started having the Hazratullah Zazais, you started having all these other Fazalak Farooqi, all these players starting to come in. So just go and play as much as you can, believe in yourself and play as much cricket as you can.
Any lessons that can be learned from what Bangladesh have seen with their administrative problems, or maybe Sri Lanka as well? Are there things that they should be really careful of?
See, I'll tell you, it's a difficult thing. See, these are all minefields. So one of the things that say, just adding to Harsha, and I think that points exactly those points. Send your A teams here, send your B teams here, allow us to play in the Moinudullah, allow us to play tournaments. Whatever top level cricket competition that we can get, just getting across the board and playing, we should be playing. You know, if there's a UP Cricket League which is just starting apparently, why not have a team from Nepal? I mean, it's literally the Terai is just one big area. So those are things I'd say. The other thing I would say is that they had an Everest Premier League.
Yes.
Which they had, and it's had editions. I think the last one was in 21. Just, it'll be very good for them to have a league, which is clean, which is that, and that means that, you know, security
it's a fair
is
point.
perfect, yeah.
Have a clean league is a fair point.
Yeah. And just have a league regularly. It makes a difference. Even if the money standards are not high, just the fact that some X amount of players are making money out of playing cricket in the country, the ecosystem immediately expands.
I mean, right in our backyard, there's an example of what's happened in the Tamil Nadu Premier League. Last year, the maximum number of players in the IPL came from Tamil Nadu. Because the Tamil Nadu Premier League started to... It didn't have players from outside Tamil Nadu. They had some very good local players, but it doesn't matter. There's always an overseas player available at a price point.
Is it okay for the young players to say, listen, I'm going to play an a Pakistan and an India game. Talent scouts are watching. I want to be able to play in big leagues. Is that okay? Is that now acceptable in this
I'll
world?
be thinking of that from the morning I got up this morning. Saying, this is the game I can show my skills. This is the game I actually wanted to play all my life. I get a fabulous 35-40 here. Doesn't matter if I don't get an 80-90. I get a 35-40. I'm getting 35-40 against whom? Against Shaheen Afridi, against Haris Rauf, against Naseem Shah, 3 of the best bowlers, against Shadab. Against these bowlers, I'm getting a nice 40-50. World, come look at me. That is why I said right at the start, I want to see that intent and confidence in the way Nepal play today.
You're looking at more than skill in them, aren't you? There's got to be more, some intangible that you're looking for, right, in these young players.
Look, exactly. And what they're looking for is not even saying that I'm going to come and be among the top 4 IPL players, you know, the top 4 who are playing there. But if I can get there, if I can start getting into big teams, you know, Noor Ahmed and all started exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And then somebody looked at them and said, you know what, this is a secret weapon for me, and suddenly things change. Rashid Khan. So there are so many examples ahead of them of where this journey has happened that I think this is a fantastic opportunity. And All of these are top level sides. They have a chance against India. They have an audition against India. They have an audition against Pakistan. These are all, look at them as auditions. Whether you are a batsman or a bowler, this is an audition.
Yeah, I mean, I hope one of them says, just watch today's Cricbuzz program. There's a guy who's seen a little bit of cricket around who said, yeah, that, what's his name, Dipinder Singh, right? Said, no, I don't want him to say that. I want the name to roll off the lips just like that. I like the Afghanistan players' names are rolling off the lips. I want 7, 8 players' names to roll off the lips very easily. So let's go and do that.
Nepal bowling first. Pakistan will have their superstar Babar Azam in action, captain's corner. Babar Azam has been one of the happier stories coming from Pakistan. As a country, they've been in turmoil for a long time. But Babar Azam seems to tell them that, listen, not all is wrong with this nation. There's a lot going for us as well.
Look, there's a absolutely wonderful story with the javelin throw as well. So,
Arshad Nadeem.
So, Harsha Bhogle and, that great, his and Neeraj Chopra together. There's so many fantastic stories. So, there's a lot there. But that's exactly what I'm saying. Sometimes, I saw this even in football, countries which are in chaos, Iraq qualifying for the Asian Cup in final in football. It happens. Sometimes it's just sport. You have nothing else. Things are not going well. Focus on the sport, and sometimes it rises to an even higher level. I think somewhere Babar Azam, whenever I see him, the one word, when you think of Tendulkar, you think of class, technique. When I think of Babar, I just see calm.
Yeah.
There's certain calmness that he exudes, which is so amazing. Refuses to get caught up in controversy, refuses to get dragged in. And when it's India, Pakistan, people tend to drag you in whether you want it or not. And I think he's just amazing in the way he's kept that center of calm. And because he's calm, that sort of exudes in the rest of the team. And this is a fun Pakistan team to watch. I like watching them play together. I like the way they celebrate each other. And they've been very talented Pakistan teams in this past. But they're people who don't talk to each other in the dressing room for the past 5 years. This is not that team. This is a very different team.
It's good to have just one captain in the team, isn't it?
Yeah.
And for everyone else to know that he is going to be the captain, not saying, "Acha, tere ko dekh lunga, 3 match ke baad main banunga." And there's a stability associated with this team. So I think not just the Asia Cup. I think they're going to start as one of the favorites for the World Cup as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they go. Yeah.
Since the 2019 World Cup, Babar Azam's played 31 matches, 1989 runs, 1989 at an average of 68.58. Look at these numbers. These are proper superstar numbers for you, Harsha.
There was a criticism for a long time that Pakistan played a lot against Zimbabwe. I think we need to move beyond that.
They played South Africa, Afghanistan.
Yeah, we need to move beyond that. In all fairness, a lot of their wins have been achieved playing at home.
Yeah.
And playing at home was a celebration for them. A lot of those wins have been achieved playing at home. But look at the runs that, say, Fakhar Zaman. I mean, they went through a phase when they didn't want to pick him. And I think the opposition would have said, good on you, man, don't pick him. When he gets runs, he got 180. When he gets runs, he gets big runs. Imam might look a little clumsy, a little whatever. He can bat. So they've created a solid top 3. And now there's batting talent coming through. All along Pakistan had a lot of bowling talent. There's a lot of batting talent coming through. Now when they get onto the big stage, on the world stage, I'd like to see how they perform as favourites. Where they have everything to lose. If they do well, people will say, wow, well done. They have everything to lose going ahead because now people expect them to do well.
Babar's critics often talk about his strike rate. Now, in ODI cricket, a strike rate of 93.33, is that acceptable? Because there is this global T20 hangover, right? People look at everything from a T20 perspective. Is 93 okay for you?
Look, I think, is his team winning? How many times did they set targets which were chased down? It's a simple thing. If your top 3 are scoring, and you're making targets large enough for you to win on a consistent basis, you're scoring fast enough. Whether that fast enough is 75, 85, 95 or 105. And I think that's what you're looking at it. 90.97. Harsha was talking about Fakhar Zaman. Fakhar Zaman before that 180, got 2 other centuries. So basically Fakhar Zaman has done it once. Babar Azam has done it twice, where they've scored 3 one-day international centuries in a row. This is, as I said, statistically one of the greatest top 3s in the history of one-day international cricket, not just of now. This is an absolutely fantastic set of people. And we refuse to acknowledge that because maybe ODI cricket is not that big right now. And maybe the Pakistan team is just not fashionable because they don't come to India that often. It's a quiet team. It's not got flamboyance that, you had in the Wasim Wakar days. But this is statistically one of the great sides going around.
Let's talk a bit about Nepal's bowling as well. Sandeep Lamichhane has been in the news for reasons other than cricket, but they will count on him for the experience that he's had. He's played a little more cricket than the others.
And I hope he continues to make news for what he does on a cricket field and not for everything that seems to happen off it. He cannot be, when you're the talisman player for your country, like Rashid Khan was for Afghanistan, you cannot be seen to be getting into the news for all the wrong reasons. Because he can put Nepal on the map if he continues doing very well. I mean, that's a lot of wickets. You need to factor in who they've played the wickets again, who they've played those matches against. I mean, it's good to see an old Bombay University captain also taking 72 wickets there. Exactly. But, I mean, and that's not putting down Saurabh Netrawalkar. He's gone and played very well in franchise cricket in some of the other places too. But Lamichhane has to be their talisman, and he's got to... When you think of Nepal, when you think of Lamichhane, you've got to think match winner, you've got to think cricketer.
They look at him as well, isn't it? For inspiration in a sense, because he's big.
Yeah, but you have other cricketers. I mean, Gulshan Jha, he's come in like another 15-year-old kid, again made his debut. He's the third youngest cricketer. Again, just 17 now, but he's been taking wickets. You know, you have Sompal coming, you have KC Karan. So you have a bowling attack which is serviceable. I'm not saying they'll scare anyone. But they've just got enough this thing to get that, you know, you don't need to bowl at 90 like Shaheen Shah Afridi and bowl 100 Yorkers all the time. You can get outside edges. So I think the big thing about them will be not to get overawed. You keep length and line and say, keep the ball out there, let the batsman make the mistakes. Because really, we are not that good a bowler that I'm going to bowl Jaffas at them all the time. So bowling within your limitations is going to be a big thing in this match. You know, how do you control that?
Can the Pakistan top three make the mistake of being a bit overconfident?
They're too experienced for that. That can happen sometimes, yes. It can. You can look at the opposition and say, yeah, I mean, I'm going to win this game, come what may. Yeah. But I think this top three, for two reasons. This top three, one is very experienced. Two, much like India, they revel in personal statistics. They love not only, I don't know the players, I don't know them well enough, but the environment around Pakistan cricket loves to throw up the numbers of its players. So today, Babar Azam wants to get a 200 if he can get in. If he says, "Abe tu kaun hai, main marunga teko," he'll get himself out. Yeah. So I think there's too much experience in this side, but I hope they set themselves goals of winning a certain way against Nepal.
They seem to have found their combination right, but what's Babar's role leading up to the World Cup? What should he personally be looking for?
Luckily for him, on either side of him, there are people who can score runs. So to that extent, Pakistan is no longer all about Babar. And that's a good sign. It might actually help Pakistan if in a couple of games, Babar gets out early and they go on and win, because they'll realize that there is match-winning batting ability without Babar scoring runs. And that I do believe they possess just now. I don't know what the feeling inside the camp is when they look at Babar Azam bat, but I mean, when you're playing as Nepal, you're queuing up to go out and bat, aren't you? As Joy said, it's bowling that'll be honest, that'll be hard-working. It's not bowling that's going to scare you.
It's a test that Nepal will relish. We shall as well. And there's something else we relish a lot on Cricbuzz Live, so Joy Factor. Yep. It's been a while.
Nepal's so slow full toss in the off stump just to get people going. The World Cup season, so nice. If it's currently Ravichandran Ashwin in tests and Alpesh Ramjani in T20 internationals, who is it in ODI cricket?
Okay, interesting. We've got...
First question, everyone is saying, I know one of those names.
You've got 3.5 hours to figure it out. We shall be back at the 15 over mark with Cricbuzz Combox, but I believe we have an Ask Cricbuzz live question as well.
Okay.
If we have enough time, let's go for it. Yeah, hai time hai, bahut time hai. Dikha do bhai. Gyanesh Mohapatra, I love that surname. With the ODI World Cup just a month away, as a captain or coach, would clinching the Asia Cup be a priority or checking the balance of the squad? Gentlemen.
Now, getting everyone in good form and making winning the Asia Cup a byproduct of everyone playing well. But of course you want to win the Asia Cup because you're going and saying, you know what, this is the perfect tune-up for us. It also means that your key players have played well. There are many key players. Look, Bumrah's coming back. Shreyas is coming back. Hopefully KL Rahul will get a bit of game time as he goes along if he comes back. KL Rahul's numbers in the middle order, by the way, are staggering. We looked at Pakistan's top three. You look at KL Rahul's numbers in the middle order when he's playing for India. I know a lot of people on Twitter will say, there they go again talking of KL Rahul. Chodo. He's had fabulous numbers. So if India do win the Asia Cup, it means that a lot of these players have done well. But my primary look is to see three players go out there and do phenomenally well. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, because you're not winning a World Cup unless Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli are playing dominant roles. And Jasprit Bumrah feeling at home because we've missed Jasprit Bumrah for in the time he was away.
I loved his Yorkers in Ireland. What a sight that was. Soothing. Right, time for predictions, gentlemen, before we go. Oh, we'd like your opinion on that question.
No, I'm totally. You can't be at this point in time, just as I was saying about homework, you can't be doing last minute homework out now. Set your side, you put it out there, now just keep playing. Don't tamper around too much and hope that the right players hit form. But do not it's too close to the World Cup for you to still be making chopping and changing.
One other thing, I'd like Hardik Pandya to score runs.
And bowl more.
He'll bowl okay. I'm quite confident of Hardik Pandya bowling well. He just seems to have lost his finisher's mojo a little bit. I'd like to see him get that finisher's role back, not the Gujarat Titans role that he seems to be living a lot. No, forget that you ever played for Gujarat Titans. Come back and be the Mumbai Indians finisher that you were and play that way for India.
A lot more on India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka and the other teams. India play their first game on Saturday. We'll talk about that, but there's a big game to cover. We'll be back at the 15 over mark with Cricbuzz Combox. 37 degrees in Multan. Gentlemen, predictions. Pakistan, batting first.
331.
It's hot. The bowling will wilt. 352. I mean, I in all fairness, I'm putting a disclaimer. If they don't get it, send a message to Deep Dasgupta and Amer Sohail. I watched the pitch report and they said there's going to be a little bit for the spinners, but it's a good surface to bat on.
Let's go for 372. Let be a big batting day.
Big beat or big batting?
Everything's big. 372. Fakhar and Imam are out there. Deependra has the ball in his hand. So enjoy the first innings. We'll be back at the 15 over mark on Cricbuzz Combox. Bye for now.